So that's the closest RCB have gotten to winning in the WPL, but they don't win again. So that's 5 losses. They're still not out of it mathematically, and they could funny format, right? 5 teams, you have to make the top 3 for the playoffs, so things can still happen, but I don't see how, and I can't help but start with Smriti Mandhana. And today was the day you feel like, yeah, it's got to her. The whole most expensive price tag, star franchise, and she starts with a maiden, and then she just seems like someone who cannot carry the burden of what it is to be an RCB captain so far. So, good game, but I just don't know how RCB are going to win.
And for starters, it seemed that she was calm and she wasn't trying to let those things affect her. Because in the past games, we've seen that as soon as a spinner comes, she tries to attack her way out of it. Today, she seemed calm. She played out Alice Capsey. She was taking those singles. But somehow,
you can't start a 2020 game with a maiden. Like I've seen it before, KL Rahul, and you catch it. Just sets the tone.
Yes, but I think we can give Mandhana the leeway. Given the fact that she's the captain, she could very well have told Sophie Devine, ki, I'm not in form, would you mind take the first strike? But she didn't do that. So I give her that point, but she almost fell into the trap of her strength, which is the heave and the pull.
It's just not, you could see a bad out of form here.
Yeah.
It's things not working for her.
And the timing couldn't have been worse, right? She's had a decent World Cup, and suddenly this is the tournament, all eyes on her, most expensive player, top franchise, and to lose 5-5 with the captain and one of India's star players not in form, it's just not a good look from any angle.
Yeah, 100%. I think in fairness, you can't have one player winning you the games. And Elise Perry's been great. She was again in this Delhi game. But they just don't have enough Indian players playing at a certain level. We've not seen a lot of Richa Ghosh. There are quite a few fielders that are pretty poor in that team. Shriyanka has been standout as far as the young Indian players go. But just not enough Indian players that seem to be contributing the way they are for Mumbai or Delhi.
Well, what's strange is if you look at the Indian international squad and RCB squad, you have Renuka Singh, Richa Ghosh, Smriti Mandhana, India's frontline bowler, wicket keeper, opener, and all 3 of them are not clicking in the franchise level, and that is not something I think the think tank would have anticipated either.
Sure. So this is unlucky then? Perhaps.
Unlucky, and probably their auction didn't perhaps go the way they wanted, because if you look at that squad, there isn't a special death bowler. Megan Shute, yes, has the experience, but she's known for her skills up front or even in the 16th, 17th over. There's no one actually to close the bowling, which is why we are seeing more of Elise Perry, the bowler. Because even Australia have been using her sparingly.
Less.
So 4 overs, Elise Perry isn't a 4 overs bowler at the international level, but she has to do that here. And the uncapped player, I think they are a bit raw. And we saw them go back to Preeti Bose again. Didn't really look like picking up a wicket, even though she did. And I think their fielding levels have been a bit low, to say the least.
Yeah, the auction analysis will always come in for RCB because they were the ones that kept going for Smriti. Mumbai Indians pulled out. They went for Elise Perry. And then suddenly you are quite hamstrung when you're auction then. And you have to just pick up what you get. So I guess it's not worked for them. Anyway, Delhi seem a good team though. This kind of win will make them quite happy because Jess Jonasson just looked like the world-class all-rounder that she is, even though she doesn't play every game in a World Championship side.
And like you said before, this was one of those testing wins for Delhi.
Yeah, good win.
I think Delhi needed this because, they needed a match where Shafali and Meg Lanning didn't work, where Jemima didn't work. They needed this sort of testing, right? This is the halfway mark. And I think they'd be very happy. The only match they've lost is to the Mumbai Indians, and I think that can be a write-off, given the way this tournament is going.
And you still kind of feel that Delhi's batting hasn't been fully tested because
but these are the kind of games that test you. Final question. Will RCB win a game in the WPL? They've lost 5 now.
Yes.
I'm going to go for no then.
No, you think they'll lose all 8?
Yes, let's.
Because I thought I saw some signs in Asha Sobna's performance or even Perry for that matter, Divine.
I think if they actually get out of it, which they might at least be for all practical purposes, even though they're not technically out of the tournament, that's when they'll start winning. Maybe they'll cause a few upsets and spoil some other parties. But for now, RCB just can't seem to get it right.